watch fans, it's Anders here on Watch On channel. I'm just doing my research on Tudor's website because today Tudor released a new watch. The new watch is the Tudor Pelagos FXD Marine Nationale. It was announced yesterday and I was really excited about this announcement. I was hoping that they actually made a kind of vintage inspired Tudor Marine Nationale, but they actually went with the Pelagos and kind of made a worse version of the Pelagos in my opinion. So let's have a closer look at this new Tudor watch and also why I'm a bit disappointed with this new release from Tudor. So just to celebrate Tudor today, I'm wearing my trusted and very much beloved Tudor Black Bay 58. This is kind of the perfect fusion of modern and vintage inspired dive watches. As I talked to some watch friends about, this is the Rolex Submariner that Rolex really should actually have done. I was kind of expecting Tudor to stay with the vintage inspiration and actually make a Marine Nationale. As you can see on your screen now, it's very reminiscent of the Rolex Submariner, but with the snowflake hands and the dial layout and hour markers just like Tudor. But they actually went in another direction with the new Pelagos FXD. So let's have a closer look into what this watch actually is. It has a reference number of M25707B 210001. It is actually a very Pelagos reminiscent watch because it's basically the same design. When you look at the dial layout and also the bezel, it does have its variations. For example, with the dial layout you don't get any date. You of course get the very famous snowflake hands with the big fat snowflake hour hand and then the kind of snowflake second hand. So it of course has some hints back to the original Marine Nationale, but still it's very much just a new variation on the Pelagos. So it's powered by the in-house MT5602 COSC certified movement, which has a power reserve of 70 hours. You get with this watch two different straps, a fabric strap, which is basically a NATO strap, and then a rubber strap, so you can change between these straps. What surprised me a lot with this watch is the dimensions, because it is a 42mm watch. The old Marine Nationale watches, they were approximately 39 to 40 millimeters, so they kind of just beefed up the watch because they basically use the same design cues as the Pelagos, the original Pelagos, which is of course also a 42 millimeter watch. Then you get 12.75 millimeters in thickness, and then one of the biggest disappointments with this watch for me, the lug-to-lug dimension of 52 millimeters. I don't really understand why they went in that direction, why they made such a big case, because it's just not a real look back on the original Marine Nationale watches in my opinion, and it will wear very big. It is of course made in titanium, so it will wear lighter, which is a really good thing, but 52 millimeters lug tip to lug tip, that's just too much in my opinion, and then you get a lug width of 22 millimeters if you don't want to wear one of the two straps. The problem is, or the issue for me is, if you actually wear it on the fabric strap, you add maybe like 2 millimeters, then you have almost 15 millimeters in thickness, and it just really doesn't make sense because it's not really a look back into the old Marine Nationale watches. It's much more of a modern version, which is of course perfectly fine. For me personally, I was really hoping that they would actually make a much more vintage inspired kind of the Tudor sub. It is only 200 meters of water resistance. The original Pelagos is 500 meters. The original Pelagos is also only 50 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip, so you get a larger watch and you get less water resistance. The watch is priced at $3,900. So I of course completely respect Tudor's integrity and that they actually want to make a modern reinterpretation of the Marine Nationale. They made a high quality dive watch, there's no doubt about this. And it's priced at $3,900, so you get a lot of value, and you should definitely look into Tudor instead of looking into buying Rolexes at extremely high prices on the secondary market or waiting for 10 years to get a Submariner. But for me personally, it's really disappointing. I think they actually made a worse Pelagos with this watch. They actually didn't do anything good to their lineup, and I just think it's too modern, it's too big. And when you don't add anything new to your collection, when you just make kind of a worse version of a watch, I don't really understand it. I think at least with the Tudor Black Bay 58s, they are making new versions, different color variations, different case materials, so they're kind of expanding the line. Basically also have a little bit of a problem with the original Pelagos, which is since of course developed with the in-house movement and stuff like that. And it's basically mostly the bezel insert. I think the bezel insert is just kind of uninspired, and what I really don't like is that they don't apply any loom pip as you can see on the Tudor Black Bay 58 on your screen now. You get a loom pip at 12 o'clock with the red triangle. This is just kind of printed on, and I always felt that it looked a little bit cheap. And this modern bezel for a watch that is actually kind of a heritage watch back to the 50s Marine Nationale watches from Tudor, it's just not for me. So what do you think about this new Tudor Pelagos FXD? Is it the right choice? Is it a watch that you would consider? Is it better than the original Pelagos, or should you actually just get the original Pelagos or actually get a Tudor Black Bay 58? I'm really curious hearing your opinion down in the comments, so don't forget to comment on this video, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe, and I will see you very soon again. Thank you. Bye.